what happens when you take the fastest and slowest car from every single DLC in the game and the initial release and expansions and put them in a random race. We're about to find out. We all just gotta avoid the Dozer. This video is supported by my wonderful patrons on patreon.com/bruffy1322. Check out that link to directly support the channel and find out all the perks you can get by doing so, such as priority access to activities and having your name listed at the end of each video. Away we go on Cutting Coroner's GP, since this is a race that is tied in with a testing video. And this is where I tested all these cars. Obviously not on this racing version with props and updated things, but same track still. But yeah, this is basically like a random all, but with a smaller pool of vehicles. So it's a 25-minute race like normal. It's not like a random select where we're going to go through all the vehicles that are available. But if you didn't see it, yesterday's testing video went through all the DLCs that have been added to the game, in addition to the initial release of the game and the enhanced edition for PS4 and Xbox One and the expanded and enhanced edition for PS5 and Xbox Series. You saw the average lap times for every single DLC based on the cars that were... You are not... This is unbelievable! I said it before it even started. I said, watch me get the... This was the track that I got the Dozer. I got it on the second lap the last time I got the Dozer on this track as well. This is unreal. This is absolutely unreal. Do you know what? I'm going to work out the chance to get the Dozer in this race. It's probably not as low as what you think. I think there's going to be a lot of people who get the Dozer. But, well, this gives me plenty of time to explain the race, I suppose. But I'll put it in the description and the pinned comment for the actual chance to get this based on however many laps we end up doing. I can't believe it. Remember the first time I ever got the Dozer, it was on this track and it was like the second or third lap. Anyway, there've been 46 DLCs. At least it's faster than the vanilla Dozer, that's true. There's been 46 DLCs if you also include the initial release of the game and the expansions for the new gen platforms that have all added cars. Every single one has a fastest and slowest car attributed to it. God, that makes me so jealous. He's so far ahead already. So you would assume that would be 92 cars, given that there's 2 cars from every single DLC, let's say, a fastest car and a slowest car. But 6 of those DLCs actually only added 1 car. So there's actually 86 vehicles in this pool of vehicles, and it's all cars. Obviously the testing video was cars only. It's not planes, helicopters, bikes or anything. It's just the fastest and slowest cars. If you want to see which the fastest DLC is, check out the testing video from yesterday. But yeah, there's essentially going to be two groups of drivers in this race. Those who get the Dozer and those who don't. So at this point, I'm just trying to be the best of those who ended up getting a Dozer, maybe. The top, say, 5, 6, 7 people in this race are just going to be those who don't get a Dozer. The Dozer was the slowest vehicle from the initial release of the game, of course, so it had to be in the pool of vehicles. And yeah, 86 vehicles. We're going to end up doing, I don't know how many laps, maybe 20 laps or something. I'm 2 laps down already. So it's luck based. It's like a random all, but with less vehicles. There are plenty of slow vehicles, obviously, since it is the fastest and slowest vehicles from every single DLC, but nothing is quite as slow as the Dozer, of course. And it will be mostly luck based. It's not a random select where your skill is going to have any impact in this one. It is going to be completely based on which cars you get. But maybe we can have a bit of fun looking through all these cars. There have been some changes made. Also thanks to DiNmiTe for making the class. I remembered it earlier this time. Instead of the custom flatbed, we've got the regular flatbed. Instead of the invade and persuade tank, we've got the big daddy dump. The RC dump. The mule armored is the mule custom. They're basically the same anyway, almost. Instead of the tow truck, we just don't have the tow truck, actually. So there's... Oh no, instead of the tow truck, it's the Benson. The school bus. Instead of the festival bus, we've got the school bus. Just because of all the nonsense that's on top of the festival bus can cause issues. Am I just getting all this? Am I going to get all of the slowest vehicles for every single DLC? Is that what's going to happen? The festival bus being the slowest from after hours. What else has been changed? Oh yeah, a few vehicles have been added specifically so we can do this race, like the Kanjali, that aren't normally available. Thanks to Catalyst for sorting that. The weaponized Ignis we don't have. We've got the Cyclone 2 instead. They're almost the same in terms of their performance. But weaponized Ignis isn't available. The regular Ignis is. I would have put that in, but that was already the fastest from the DLC that we got the regular Ignis in. And then instead of the Outreach faction, because Project Homecoming has enough police cars, we've got the faction custom, which again it's based off. So apart from those, everything's all the same vehicles that you saw in yesterday's testing video. And if you haven't seen yesterday's testing video, go watch it. I spent a lot of time on that one. That took longer than I would have liked to make that video. I'm 3 laps down now. I had to work out all the averages from all the cars and put them all in, the fastest and the slowest. GP1, okay, and I spawned immediately behind a Dozer. Okay, now we're talking. Is this the start of the comeback? I'm still in last place. I'm 50 seconds back. Okay, people are starting to get Dozers now. This is the start of the comeback. This is where it begins. The thing is, no matter... Like, Mild is so far ahead right now. But no matter how far ahead you are, the Dozer is always in play. And it will completely ruin your race. And I would imagine more than half the field are going to end up getting a Dozer. I don't know what the actual percentages will look like, because it will be based on how many laps we end up doing, but... Oh, I've hit him. Even when I get a quick car, I lose time. Hitting the bunker caddy, which was the slowest from gun running. Yeah, I think that was a... Oh, Autark, now we're talking. That was a separate like side benefit to yesterday's video. It wasn't just about ranking the DLCs in order of which was the quickest on their average lap times for all the cars that were included in the DLCs. It was also getting to see what the fastest and slowest cars were from all those DLCs. I'm still last. So we started in the Alpha, by the way, because I thought it was just be a reasonable vehicle to start with. Oh, I'm finally not going to be last. Really? Really? Okay, now I'm not last. Does he remember what DLC each respective vehicle comes from? Absolutely not. I couldn't tell you now where the Autark came from, honestly. There's been too many. So much bloat. Okay, so there's the caddy. Excellent. So I've had the Alpha. I thought it was a good starting car because it's a good pace. It's decently slow. The Alpha was the slowest from the business DLC. which did surprisingly well in the average lap time listing. But everybody had the alpha, so let's not count that. I've so far had 3 slow vehicles and 2 fast vehicles. I'm going to keep a running count of how many I get to... You can actually have a perfect sort of indication of your luck, because you're either going to get the fastest from the DLC or the slowest from the DLC. Notwithstanding the fact that the Dozer is just so much slower than everything else, though. And back down in last. Also noteworthy how slow the vehicles are. Yeah, I mean, say the Alpha, for example, is the slowest from the business DLC, but that's, you know, mid-level sports car pace, so it's not actually slow. But a lot of the slowest vehicles from each DLC are actually quite slow. Like the Bunker Caddy, and the bus, and the Dozer, and all sorts of other very slow stuff. I wonder, I'll have to organise the list in like lap time, and then I'll see if I actually, which percent, like, did I get all the slowest of the slow vehicles? Alright, Emirates, we're going to another, so we've had 3 slow, 3 fast. There's another Dozer. People, can I just point out, people have had Dozers, and I'm still in last place. I haven't caught up to anybody who's had a Dozer yet. In fact, Mr. Kiflom in front of me is 12 seconds ahead, despite having had a Dozer. I think the Bunker Caddy is probably one of the slowest. The Invade and Persuade tank would have been the next slowest after the Dozer, I think. But I don't know the pace of the RC dump that has replaced it. Give him a friggin' boost. Kanjali's pretty slow, actually. Alright, Banshee 900R. This was the quickest from this DLC. There's another Dozer. But the slowest was very close to it. And the 900R and the Sultan RS were the only 2 that were added in the basically unnamed January 2016 DLC. It was such a weird DLC, that one. But I'm on 5 fast cars, 3 slow cars now. We've seen 5 Dozers in total. We got a running total of Dozers in the race. Am I on 5 and 3 or am I on 4 and 3? Yeah, I'm on 4. Okay, the Primo Custom is slow, so I'm on 4 and 4 now. 4 fast, 4 slow. There we go. And I'm not in last again. But again, the Primo Custom is definitely a better slow vehicle to get than a Surfer or a Bunker Caddy or a Kanjali or a Dozer. It is going to be really interesting seeing this leaderboard at the end, because there's going to be a massive gap. You'll see a distinct gap from everybody who got a Dozer and didn't, I'm sure. We should have left finish all laps on, and then had, I assume it works with timed races. I don't know whether it does actually, but because then we would have had everybody who didn't get a Dozer would finish the race, and then those remaining, we'd have a little race to ourselves for those who got the Dozer. All right, Wagner, definitely the quickest from its DLC. And now we're on 5 quick, 4 slow. Another Dozer that we saw there. So people are getting them. I just got mine instantly. Okay, this looks a bit dicey. Stick all the way to the inside. Radar's not using the boost. All right, Blade. I don't remember the Blade. I assume it was it the slowest? I actually can't remember. It must have been. It was such an early DLC. The Blade must have been the slowest from that DLC. That would put me on 5 and 5. This was back when muscle cars used to be added to the game with actual muscle car levels of lap time. Back in the good old days. It was nice to reminisce when I was making that testing video of the DLCs. I do prefer the older DLCs. They were much more simple, not in terms of the content, but in terms of the vehicles that were added. Like seeing the business DLC so high up with the just three cars, but there were cars that were, you know, cars were added that had proper pace for their classes. Like a muscle car getting a 1 minute 10 lap time should be about where it should be. Not friggin' sports car levels of lap time. Blade was the quickest. What DLC? I'm not a hipster DLC. Oh, it might have been the quickest then. Okay, 6-4. Karuma was the quickest from heists, so that's 7-4. But obviously the power creep had to come at some point. We got faster and faster cars. But also slower and slower cars. More of the recent DLCs had slower cars as well as faster cars. Damn, is there really only 7 minutes left? I feel like I've only just started the race. The Dozer lap just took me out of it completely. I'm barely going to get 20 vehicles. No, there's no way I'm getting 20 vehicles. But hopefully I can get at least like 16, 17. Close to 20 would be nice. Watch me get the friggin' RC dump now. Alright, Omaggio. Another fastest one. That's 8-4. So far I've actually had some good luck. Apart from the fact that the 4 slowest ones I got, 3 of them were atrocious. And 1 of them was the worst. I'm still in 32nd place. I've had 8 of the fast cars, 4 of the slow cars, and I'm still 32nd out of 36. There's the entity, the original fastest. I've had the original slowest, and still the slowest. Be nice to get the entity, or maybe it'd be nice to like complete a DLC. If I get the fastest and the slowest from a single DLC. The June, slowest from Cunning Stunts, I think, if I remember correctly. See, why couldn't my 5 slow vehicles be all the fastest slow vehicles? That's 8-5. fast to slow. There's the caddy. Not enough people are getting Dozers. I'm unhappy with this. We had a flurry of them in the middle of the race and nothing for a while. The Dune is such a good vehicle. Absolutely legendary. I would have thought respawning would have been a good point there, but you do you. Completely blocking the track. We got very lucky that a gap opened up there. I was just going to drive straight into him though, to be fair. Nothing stops the mighty Dune. Alright, BR8. Another fast one. In fact, the fastest of the fast ones. Wow, okay. So in this race, I've had the fastest and slowest cars in the entire game. That's madness. But the problem is, you lose so much time in the slowest that the fastest can't really make up for that. I need an open wheeler in the final DLC, which I assume is going to be this winter. I'd be annoyed if it wasn't the final DLC. Great. Oh, great. Really? You're going to do that to me? Really? Oh my god. You've got all that time gained suddenly lost. God damn it. Hey, I've completed the DLC. The January 2016 DLC. I can't believe that. No, that's just my luck, isn't it? I get the fastest car in the game, and then the curbs ruin me. The classic DLC where I had the whole effing supers class. Banshee 900R was the fastest. Sutton RS was the slowest. Yeah, 9.6 we are at the minute, fastest to slowest. This might be the fastest slow car to get from any DLC. So I've had the fastest fast car, the fastest slow car, the slowest slow car. I wonder what the slowest fast car is. Maybe I've had that too. But I've actually completed a DLC though, that's fun. Voodoo Custom. Really? I mean, at least make an attempt to take the corner. Yeah, I want to see a new open wheeler in the final DLC that's based on the F2004. There you go, I told you, I called it. I said early on, you know, Mild is half a lap ahead of everybody, but it can all, you know, that Dozer is always in play, and there he is, he's got it. Yeah, an open wheeler based on the F2004 that can't turn anywhere near as good as the BR8. It can still turn really well for an open wheeler, but not as good as the BR8. But it's just got monstrous top speed. New highest top speed in the game or something. Like an open wheeler as they should have been with actual proper top speed. And it gets like a 52-second lap or something. The final car to be added to the game. That's what I want to see. Oh, never happen. But alright, Yuga Classic. Another slow boy. So I'm now 9 for 8, I think. Fast to slow. I had a good middle portion there, but the Grotty 2004 F because they have no imagination. It would be F04, wouldn't it? Because every single open wheeler is just 3 letters. Alright. We're going to get one more lap after this, I think. So we're almost going to get 20 laps. No way I'm overtaking Mild. He was so far ahead of me. He was freaking 3 laps ahead. That's madness. And the Ignis is my final one. This was the fastest. So I've gone 10.8 fast to slow. In my 18 laps of randomness. I haven't had any of the cars that were both the fastest and the slowest. It's a shame I didn't get at least one. There were only 6, I suppose. 6 cars, 6 DLCs that added 1 car. Oh, I'm making places on this final lap though. I think that's as much as I'm going to make though. We needed to have finish our laps on so people could have kept going. Oh, Moggy's giving everyone one more lap. He must have been, he's been that far ahead. Okay, we get an extra chance. The Ruston. There's another Dozer. They're not happy they got the extra lap. They're already a lap ahead of me though, so I'm not going to overtake them. The Ruston is the slowest in its DLC, I think. So that's 10.9. And I did get 20 laps in the end. Moggy was so far ahead. I didn't gain any places on this last lap. From getting the extra lap, I've gained nothing from it. But we got 20 laps in at least. Maybe we should do this again, but we'll do if finish our laps works. If people would want to see this again, because I think it's a really interesting selection of vehicles. Maybe we can wait until the last DLC in the winter and add in the fastest and the slowest from whatever is in that DLC, and we can run this again, finish our laps on, so that then we'll get to see like that mini secondary race. Finish our laps doesn't work with time mode, only with laps. Well, maybe we can just set the number of laps. Maybe we can just do 23 laps or 25 laps or something. And we'll have a secondary race once everybody who didn't get a Dozer has finished the race. There'll be a secondary race for the rest of it for those who did get the Dozer. But I think it's quite a good selection because it is like a random all. There is a huge luck element in the cars that you get, but with a really small selection, you know, less than 100 cars. And because it's the fastest and the slowest of every DLC, there's a massive difference between them all. 27th in the end. I definitely think the top 14 didn't get a Dozer, and Fork got lucky to get the Dozer on the last lap when he probably couldn't lose positions already. According to my calculations, the chance of not getting a Dozer in 20 laps was actually 77%, 78%. I just used the same spreadsheet that I used for the 131 lap race for the tractor and the 200 lap race for the Dozer, and ultimately this is it was a 78% chance of not getting a Dozer. That's a disappointingly high value. So basically only a quarter of the field were going to get a dozer, and I was in that quarter. Yeah, there was basically a 98.8% chance of not getting a dozer on the second lap, and I got it. I hit that 1.2% chance. That's absolutely typical.